Yeah, so hello guys. Today I want us to discuss a topic that is very, very important. When you engage with riders or the customers of the online platforms, be it Bolt, be it Uber, be it Litrocab or others, you will find a tendency that customers who use Uber hate Bolt so much. They will tell you that I cannot order Bolt because of this, because of that, because of that. On this other hand, customers who use Bolt do not necessarily talk bad about Uber. The same thing when you speak with drivers who don't do Bolt, they will tell you that they don't like Bolt at all. But sometimes they are forced by circumstances. Sometimes you don't have enough requests from other applications without Bolt, so you are forced to turn it on. What I'm trying to say is that I have found that people have very, very strong opinions about Bolt than any other application in Kenya. And here I'm just trying to analyze a scenario that happened to me yesterday when I carried two customers, and I also felt a kind of feeling that did not make me very happy at some point. And also, I carried a customer who also was not very happy with the outcomes of that trip. And that's why I want us to discuss how, in my view, Bolt is slowly losing its loyalty from customers and from drivers in Kenya. So I carried a passenger yesterday. The passenger paid 800 Kenya shillings for a distance of 24 kilometers that took me 34 minutes to complete. The second customer paid 900 shillings for a distance of 8.7 kilometers that took me 27 minutes to complete. So just put those statistics at the back of your mind. Normally, Bolt pricing is based on three key factors. So these are the predictable circumstances, meaning if everything is on a flat ground, there is no increased demand, there is no what we call compensation for remote areas, Bolt will use this model to price their trips. So they use what they call base fare. So the base fare is 80 shillings. The trip distance, which is charged at 30 Kenya shillings per kilometer, and then there is time spent on the trip, which is charged at 5 shillings per minute of travel. So if we were to use these baselines of pricing, trip number 1 should have been charged around 970 shillings instead of 800 shillings. As you can imagine, 24 kilometers and you are paid only 800 shillings, in my view as a driver, is quite too small. Is really, really too small compared to what I would get from Uber or Litrocab or other online applications. The second trip, and these ones I have calculated using the model here. If this trip was to be calculated using the model, the customer should have paid 450 shillings instead of a whooping 900 shillings. And this you can understand why I felt disappointed here and why the customer was disappointed here. And actually the customer was like, what do you mean? 900 shillings from Eastleigh to Garden City? It was just unbelievable. Of course, I was smiling, but I knew that pricing was a little bit abnormal. And my issue here is, you know why people in Kenya don't like traveling with matatus? It is because when you are leaving the house, you are not sure how much the matatu will charge you at the bus station. If you are traveling up country, let's say from Nairobi to Nakuru, one day it will be 300, another day it will be 1,000. And those are the things that make public transport in Kenya so difficult, so unpredictable, and people are unable to plan the little money they have. And this, in my view, is really, really happening with Bolt platform, both for drivers and both for customers. Drivers get honestly very angry when you drive 24 kilometers and you get 800. I felt it in my heart. I didn't say anything to the customer. It wasn't her fault. She did not tip me anything, but I felt that was an undercharge. And the second customer had a reason to complain. So this is very, very dangerous because people need to plan their money. When there are those people who pay with cards. So they load a certain amount of money into their Bolt wallet, and then it will be spent the whole month as they order the rides as the day go by through the month. So with this kind of pricing, a person is actually not sure how much money they should load into their wallet because the pricing is so uncertain. In as much as they are traveling the same distance every day, let's say you do 10 kilometers. Today you could pay 900 for 8 kilometers. Tomorrow you might find yourself paying 2,000 for the same distance. So you never know. But all this notwithstanding, I understand very well that there is something that Bolt calls a trip with compensation. So that is a trip that a driver is compensated some extra money for long pickup distance. So if a customer calls you 3 kilometers away, Bolt will add you some more money on top of it, even if they are traveling just a short distance. The second way for Bolt to compensate is when you are dropping a customer into an area that is a bit remote. So like in a way, Bolt understands that it will be difficult for you to get a trip out of that location. So you will have to drive without any customer to a point where you feel that, you know, there is a bit of demand. Secondly, there is what we call surge prices. So these are price increase due to high demand. They are designed by Bolt under their own discretion. So you never know where there will be surge at what point. But mostly it's like when people are leaving church, when you know, an event is happening in a particular area, or you know, when in the morning hours when everybody is going to work, but you are never sure that that surge price will apply. It is not clear to anyone. Okay, it is not clear, and you don't know the surge will be by what multiple factor. At least if they say there is a surge, they should promise that there should be not more than 1.2 or 1.5 increase. So meaning that the price should never be more than 50% from what was shown to you. Okay, but also there is something else that, you know, like time could increase when you get stuck on traffic, which is well understandable because this does not increase the end price very much. But these two, the surges and the compensations, they are where that, you know, the customer might feel a bit cheated. On the side of the driver as well, honestly, we need to make sure that all these factors apply, because some trips, honestly, 24 kilometers cannot be 800. Okay, if you use this model. And maybe if there was a little bit of surge or something, it should be at least 1,000 and above in my view. So that is what is costing loyalty decrease for this application in Kenya, in my view, because people get angry at the end of the trips, either the driver or the customer. But for Uber, very, very predictable. When there is surge, it is never more than 1.5. Well, never more than 1.5. And in this case, even the customer will tell you, I have tried to order. The drivers were not available. There was high demand. So they understand that, of course, the price might go up a little bit, but never that much. For Bolt, sometimes it gives you even 3 times, okay, which is such abnormal. Okay, so I hope you have learned something, and see you in the next video.